Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of May 2014 Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, where it comes to love, you really cannot get any bigger than a new moon taking place in your opposite sign. And that is happening for you towards the end of the month. Now, what I find really interesting about this new moon is that it is speaking in supreme harmony with Mars. So there's an element there of you just being lifted and energized and empowered and just really filled with life, filled with verve as a result of the changes that take place where it comes to love. But at the same time, this particular new moon is having a different type of conversation with Neptune. And it is a type of conversations that astrologers call a square. And what ultimately that type of conversation is a conversation of honesty. It's a conversation of looking at the truth, and it's a conversation of identifying what you desire to be different and having the motivation to actually work towards that end of change. And so you put these energies together, and it does look like you have a very valuable insight that spurs you into action. And it looks like the insight comes first. First, there's a bit of feeling of uncomfortableness. And you ask yourself, why am I uncomfortable? What feels off? Why is it that I'm feeling like something is off? You identify just what it is, and then you identify what you can do about it, and you put it into action almost immediately. And that's what I really like about this, that there's an element here in this new moon that is ultimately really empowering. So any sort of happenings in the sign that is opposite your sign tends to denote changes, lessons, learning in love, and particularly in partnership and understanding committed partnerships. Those of you in an established bond are likely to experience this energy by having to sort of compromise, seeing your partner in different contexts and different light, sort of saying, okay, I really didn't realize that's who you were. I really didn't realize that that's what was going on. And particularly considering that Neptune is in a part of the sky that has to do with home for you, it looks like what is transpiring here is meant to sort of spur you to understand the sense of security and stability this person can provide and what maybe they cannot provide, and what it is now that you can do to actually empower yourself. So it does look like there's an element here of you being brought into a more realistic perspective as to what is reasonable for you to expect from this person, especially where it comes from you feeling safe and secure in the world, and where it is maybe that the work is actually yours to do. It's not necessarily anything that the other person can do. And I have to be honest, I mean, I look at this, I also look at the fact that the ruler of the sign just before yours is Mars, and Mars by that point, speaking in harmony with this full moon, will be slowing down to a standstill, preparing to go direct after an extended period of time. And I can't help but feel that there's an element here, or at least for some of you, this may play out by you sort of realizing some feelings of jealousy coming up and realizing that really there's nothing that your partner can do about this, that ultimately the work is yours to do. It's not that they need to behave different. It's that you need to get a little bit more secure in yourself and empower yourself and have things that excite you and fill your life, and all the many other ways in which we learn about ourselves through the human emotion of jealousy. And so that's one example that I think may arise for those of you in a committed relationship. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, I do think that the way in which this climate is likely to play out is you sort of saying to yourself, okay, who is this person really, and what is it reasonable for me to expect from this person? And it does look like there's an element here of you sort of maybe, okay, I will say, if there's been any kind of rush to have this person be a part of your home life, you're going to start to see some holes in that, okay? And you're going to start to have to admit that there is a process that leads to a sense of security, and that living together is actually a reflection of that security. So it seems that there is some connection to some element of how much can I let this person into my home? How much of my home life is going to be shared with this person? And where is it that maybe we haven't ironed out all the details, or maybe we're moving too fast, or maybe we're not moving fast enough, or in some way, does this person actually fit in the home sphere? And what can we do to make that a smoother fit, if anything? And so those seem to be some of the questions that are coming up. So it may be as simple as the person's been spending a lot of time over at your place, and you kind of say, okay, should I open a drawer for them or not? It could just be something like that, but it does look like the changes that do transpire ultimately are in your hand. They're about you empowering yourself, and it does look like the ultimate question and the ultimate challenge is with you. So it's you that has to do the soul searching to decide if you are ready to actually take a step like the very big step of that moment when you realize that this person is here a lot. Maybe they need a drawer. And for Sages especially, actually emptying out that drawer, really huge step. Is this situation warrant that type of step? Well, you'll know by the time we get you towards the end of the month. And those of you who are open to love, you are considering, there's an element here of you sort of considering how your home life actually supports the past that you've already established, actually supports the type of love that you desire. But more than that, it looks a more likely scenario for those of you open to love is that it really is your friendships that fuel a sense of empowerment in love and really help you to sort of ground some fantasies, especially maybe unreasonable expectations that you may have where it comes to love, and that help you understand that by allowing yourself to find a sense of safety and security within yourself, sharing something like your home space and feeling more secure in the context of a relationship tends to be the natural result. So it looks like conversations are happening with friends, and all of that is part of your healing, and all of that is part of your understanding as you prepare for greater and greater love. One thing is for sure, this month is about fresh beginnings in love and brand new chapters in love. And when there is a new moon in your opposite sign, it pretty much always suggests that there's another person there for you to learn these lessons from and through and with. And so be open to that prospect. I do think that it's not likely that these lessons are just going to swim around within your own psyche, within your own spirit and your learning. It does look like at least somebody else is there who can act as a mirror to help you better understand yourself, which ultimately is the purpose of love. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.